Human beings are strange creatures. We call ourselves the naked ape, and for good reason. Compared to almost every other mammal, we have almost no fur. Chimpanzee is covered in hair from head to toe. A horse has a thick coat. Even a cat is wrapped in soft fur. But humans walk around with bare exposed skin. Bodies look smooth and strangely naked. Yet there is one glaring exception to this rule. One patch of thick hair that refuses to disappear. Men still grow dense beards on their faces. And that raises a strange and wonderful question. If humans lost all their fur, why do men still have beards? Why did evolution strip away our body hair, but leave this one stubborn forest growing on the chin? The answer is far stranger than you might think. It involves ancient hunters' hidden signals. In the silent power of attraction, it is a story that stretches back millions of years. Let's start with a basic fact that surprises most people. Humans are not actually hairless at all. We have roughly the same number of hair follicles as a chimpanzee, around 5 million of them, spread across the body. We did not lose the follicles themselves. We simply changed the kind of hair that grows out of them. Most of our hair is now short, thin, and nearly invisible. Scientists call this fine, colorless hair vellus hair. It is the faint fuzz you can see on your arms in bright light. Thick, dark, visible hair of an ape is called terminal hair, and that is what humans mostly lost. The real question is not why we lost our fur, it is why our terminal hair retreated. Why did thick, dark body hair become a disadvantage? Evolution never does anything without a reason, and scientists have developed several powerful theories to explain it. The first and most widely accepted is about heat. Our ancient ancestors left the cool, shaded forests. They moved out onto the hot, open savanna of Africa. Out there, the sun is brutal and unrelenting, running down prey. That heat is exhausting work. Fur is a wonderful insulator. Traps warmth close to the body. On a scorching savanna, that trapped warmth becomes a furnace. A furry hunter would overheat, collapse in minutes. So humans evolved something truly remarkable. We became the sweatiest animal on the entire planet. We have between 2 and 5 million sweat glands. That is more than any other mammal that has ever lived. We sweat, water spreads across our skin and evaporates. That evaporation pulls heat away from the body. It is a brilliant natural cooling system. But here is the crucial problem. Sweat cannot cool you if it is trapped under a wet coat of fur. Bare skin lets sweat do its job perfectly. Lets the breeze reach the skin directly. And that single change turned humans into marathon machines. Cannot outsprint a horse or a gazelle, but we can run for hours and hours without stopping. Our ancestors used a brutal hunting technique called persistence hunting. They did not chase their prey at full speed. They simply jogged after it mile after mile without giving up. The animal would sprint away in panic. Then it would overheat and collapse from exhaustion. Because a furry animal cannot cool itself the way a sweating human can. A human just keeps coming slowly and steadily. Losing our fur may have made us the greatest endurance runners in nature. It may have been the secret weapon that made us apex predators. That is a strong and satisfying answer, but it is not the only theory on the table. Some scientists point to a very different enemy. Parasites. Fur is a perfect home. Lice, ticks, and fleas. A thick coat is essentially a hotel for biting insects, and those insects carry terrible diseases. Naked body is far harder for parasites to colonize. Losing our fur may have a massive health advantage. It reduced the parasites that carry deadly infections into our bodies. This is called the ectoparasite hypothesis, and it has real evidence behind it. Some researchers point out that body lice evolved to live in human clothing, which suggests clothing replaced fur. The lice is home. The loss of fur and the rise of clothing are deeply connected. And there is also a third theory. It is perhaps the most surprising one of all. Some biologists believe we lost our fur to look attractive. This is the powerful idea of sexual selection. Smooth, clear skin may have been a signal. Told a potential mate that you were healthy and free of disease. Your skin is honest advertising. It is hard to hide scars, sores, or infections on naked skin. A hairless body became a badge of good genes. Showed the world that you were strong and clean. There is even a more controversial idea floating around. It is called the aquatic ape hypothesis. Some scientists once suggested our ancestors spent time near water, that losing fur helped them swim and wade more easily. Most experts reject this theory today, but it shows just how puzzling hair loss really is. No single explanation has won the argument completely. Whatever the exact reason, the result was the same. Humans became the naked ape. We can even estimate when this happened. Genetic studies point to a remarkable clue. Around 1.2 million years ago, our skin changed. A gene called MC1R produced dark skin pigment. Dark skin protects against intense sun. Dark skin only became necessary once our fur was gone. The great shedding likely happened around that time, more than a million years, before modern humans even existed. That is how deep this story goes. But not everything disappeared. Some patches of hair survived the great shedding. That is where the story gets truly fascinating. We kept the hair on top of our heads. We kept eyebrows, eyelashes, and pubic hair. Kept hair under our arms. And in men, we kept the beard. Why did these survive when the rest was lost? Each survivor has its own practical reason. Head hair is simple to explain. It shields the brain from the blazing sun, protects the most important organ in the body from overheating. Brows keep sweat and rain out of the eyes. Eyelashes keep dust and grit away. These are practical survival-based features. Help you stay alive in a harsh environment. The beard is different. The beard is strange. The beard does not protect the brain from the sun. It does not keep sweat out of your eyes. And it grows on the face where everyone can see it. So why would evolution keep such a useless feature? This is exactly the puzzle that fascinated Charles Darwin. In his great book, The Descent of Man, Darwin offered an answer. He said the beard was the product of sexual selection. That changed everything about how we understand it. Let us understand what sexual selection really means. Natural selection is about about survival. It favors traits that help you live long enough to reproduce. Sexual selection is about being chosen. It favors traits that make you more attractive to a mate. Sometimes these two forces pull in opposite directions. When they do, attraction often wins. A peacock's tail is heavy, makes flying hard, but the peahen finds it irresistible. So the tail survives even though it hurts survival. Darwin saw the beard the same way. It was a signal, badge that men wore to advertise something important. What exactly was the beard advertising? Let us look at the biology first. Beard is not just random hair. It is a secondary sexual characteristic. That means it appears at puberty. It develops at the same moment. A boy becomes a man. It is driven by a specific hormone. The hormone is called dihydrotestosterone, DHT for short. DHT is made from testosterone inside the body, and DHT is what tells the hair follicles on the face to grow thick and dark. Here's a strange and ironic twist. The same DHT that grows a beard also causes balding. On the scalp, DHT shrinks the hair follicles until hair dies. On the face, it makes those follicles explode with growth. Same hormone does two completely opposite things. For our story, the important point is simpler. A thick beard is a direct, visible signal of testosterone. It cannot be easily faked or painted on, and that makes it a powerful and honest message. So what exactly does a beard tell the world? First message is age and maturity. A beard simply cannot grow on a child. It marks the transition from boy to man. It says, I am an adult now, not a child. Second message is dominance. Across the animal kingdom, males grow ornaments to look bigger and stronger. Think of the lion's magnificent mane. A lion's mane makes his head look enormous. It intimidates rivals. It impresses lionesses. A beard does the same thing for a human male. It widens the jaw. It darkens the lower face. It makes a man look older, stronger, and more commanding. The third message is health. Full, thick beard takes real resources to grow. Requires good nutrition and a healthy body. Patchy, thin beard can signal weakness or illness. While magnificent beard is like a peacock's tail. It says, look at me, I have great genes. Modern science has tested these ideas directly. Researchers showed people photographs of men with and without beards. The results are remarkably consistent. Bearded men are rated as more masculine. They are seen as more dominant and assertive. They are seen as older and more mature. In some studies, they are even seen as better fathers and providers. People also judge bearded faces as more aggressive. Beard changes how the entire face is read. It shifts perception in powerful and unconscious ways. But here is where the story gets complicated. Women's preferences are not simple at all. Some studies find women strongly prefer bearded men. Other studies find they prefer clean-shaven faces. And the preference seems to shift with context. When women think about short-term attraction, beards often win. When they think about long-term partners, preferences get mixed. There is even evidence that fashion plays a surprising role. When beards are rare, they become more attractive. Every man has a beard. The clean face suddenly stands out. This is called negative frequency dependence. Rare traits get a boost in attractiveness. It is evolution's way of keeping variety in the population. So the beard's power is real, but it is complicated. There is one more theory worth considering. Some scientists think the beard is actually armor. Point out that human males have thick brow ridges and strong jaws, and human males have a long history of fighting. A thick beard might cushion a blow to the face, could absorb some of the impact of a punch or a strike. There's even a name for this idea. It is called the pugilism hypothesis. The beard as a primitive boxing glove for the face. Evidence for this theory is still debated, but the idea has not been fully dismissed by science. So we now have several competing theories. The beard may be a signal of masculinity. It may be a display of health and dominance. It may be a shield for fighting. Or maybe all of these things at once. Evolution is rarely simple, but there is one more strain. Tale that deepens the mystery. Not all men can grow a beard. Some men grow thick, full beards with ease. Others struggle to grow more than a patchy shadow. Why is there so much variation? The answer lies in genetics and hormone sensitivity. Beard growth depends on how sensitive your face is to DHT. Some men's follicles respond strongly to the hormone. Others respond weakly no matter how much testosterone they have. This is why two brothers look completely different, and this variation is itself a clue. If the beard were purely a survival tool, nature would make it uniform. But because it is a signal, variation is the whole point. Different signals create different impressions, and that variety is what sexual selection feeds on. It is also worth remembering the beard is not only a man's story. Men can grow facial hair too, especially after menopause. Estrogen levels drop, testosterone becomes more visible, and some women develop noticeable facial hair as a result. This reminds us that the same genes exist in everyone. Beard is not a different species of hair. It is simply the same follicle system switched on by hormones. Before we close, there is one more side to the beard story. The human side. Beards have a rich and surprising cultural history. Thousands of years, the beard was a symbol of wisdom and power. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs wore false metal beards. Even female pharaohs strapped on ceremonial beards to show authority. In ancient Greece, a full beard was the mark of a philosopher. It was a sign of intellect, maturity, and honor. Great thinkers were all depicted with flowing beards. Alexander the Great changed all of that. He ordered his soldiers to shave. The reason was brutally practical. In close combat, an enemy could grab a beard and pull a man down. A clean face meant one less thing to hold on to, and so the clean-shaven look became the mark of the soldier. Romans followed the same logic. Roman soldiers shaved every single morning, and the razor became a symbol of discipline and civilization. Beards went in and out of fashion for centuries after that. Kings grew them and kings banned them. In some eras, a beard was a sign of holy devotion. In others, it was a sign of rebellion. Even today, the cycle continues. Hipsters brought the beard back as a fashion statement. Underneath all this fashion is the same ancient biology. The beard keeps coming back because it's wired into us. So let us return to the real secret of the beard. For that, one more fascinating question. Why does beard hair feel so different from head hair? If you run your fingers through a beard, it feels coarse and wiry. Hair is soft and fine by comparison. The answer lies in how hair grows. Every hair on your body has a growth cycle. It grows for a while, then rests, then falls out. For head hair, this cycle lasts for years. That is why head hair can grow extremely long. For beard hair, the cycle is much shorter, and during its short growth phase, hair becomes thick and strong. Beard hair is also oval. In cross-section, not round. Its oval shape makes it curl and feel wiry. It is almost like nature built a different material for the beard. Material designed to be, not just to protect. And that brings us to another important fact. The beard is one of the fastest growing hairs on the body. It can grow about a third of a millimeter every single day. That is why a clean shave only lasts a few hours. By evening, the shadow is already coming back. The beard is not a passive leftover. It is an active, fast-growing, highly visible structure. Nature invested real energy into keeping it. Nature never invests energy without a payoff. It is not a leftover or a mistake. It is a switch that evolution decided to keep. And it meant for a reason. So the beard survived while the rest of our fur vanished. That survival was no accident. It survived because it mattered. It mattered to our ancestors in ways we are only now beginning to understand. There is a deeper lesson hidden in all of this. Evolution is not a tidy logical process. It does not follow a single simple rule. Human body is not a perfectly designed machine. It is a collection, compromises and trade-offs. We lost our fur so we could run and sweat. We kept a beard so we could signal who we were. We traded one kind of advantage for another. And the beard is the living evidence of that ancient trade. It is a fossil that we carry on our faces every single day. Remnant of a time when a full beard could win you a mate or scare off a rival. Mark you as a man and not a boy. So the next time you see a man with a beard, remember this. Let us quickly retrace the journey we have taken. Started with a simple question. Why did the naked ape keep a beard? And we found three big answers. The first answer is about heat. We lost our fur to run. Sweat on the hot savanna. Bare skin became our secret weapon. Second answer is about parasites. Less fur meant fewer lice, ticks, and diseases. Cleaner body was a healthier body. The third answer is about attraction. Smooth skin signaled good genes to a potential mate. And the beard, the one big exception. Kept for a different reason entirely. It was kept as a signal of maturity, dominance, health, and strength. A living advertisement that nature decided was worth keeping. What does all this mean for us today? It means the beard on your face is not just hair. It is a message written in biology. It is a relic of a world we can barely imagine. A world where your face could decide your fate. Here is the most remarkable part of all. That world never fully disappeared. It is still with us every single day. When someone judges a bearded face is strong and mature. When a clean-shaven face feels youthful and fresh. When a beard trends into fashion and out again. That is evolution still at work. That is millions of years of instinct, still shaping how we see each other. Beard is not a fashion accessory. It is a fossil that still breathes. It connects us to hunters on the savannah, to rivals fighting for dominance. The very moment we became human, it will probably keep growing back, generation after generation. For as long as humans look at each other and see a face, you are not just looking at a fashion choice. You're looking at millions of years of evolution. You're looking at hormones, signals, and ancient instincts. You are looking at the naked ape, kept one last patch of fur, for reasons that run far deeper than style.